Hey guys, welcome to JayWalk Media. This is Matt Miller. Watch Scott Jennings on CNN. He's the only Republican on the panel. Explain to an entire room full of woke media elites exactly why they lost the election, and they have a meltdown because of what he says. Check it out right here.
Just to go back to Susie for a second, the fact that he got to this first and the fact that she is going to have, influence over how the rest of this transition unfolds, whether it's picking attorney general or any of these other high-level positions. I think we ought to all look at this as a wise decision, a good decision, and for everybody out there wanting Trump to pivot or change or somehow whatever you want him to do, he just won a mandate from the American people to execute on the program that he laid out in this election. It wasn't particularly close. And I think he ought to put people in place who are going to do it. That's what the people are asking for.
Who will go after his enemies? I mean, that's
not what he ran on.
Yes, he did. It is explicitly what he ran on.
That's not what he ran on.
Look at what he said in the past week. He literally said that he was going to exact vengeance.
You still don't understand how you lost. He ran on immigration.
Don't say me. I'm not a Democrat.
He ran on immigration.
I'm a journalist.
He ran on inflation.
I'm not here paid
to represent one of the many things he ran on in addition to
he ran on the issues that people care about. He ran on the economy. He ran on
nobody's saying that he didn't run on those things, but he also ran on vengeance.
Yes.
He did also run on going after the people who went after him.
And journalists.
It was a key feature of all of his speeches.
Yes, Scott, he literally said, "I am your retribution, the Biden crime family, lock her up." Went after Sessions repeatedly for not doing what he wanted Sessions to do, which was to indict Hillary or whoever he wanted to indict.
You can want his campaign to have been about, tax reform and things like that. That is not what he said on the stump. Time after time after time.
Also
he talked about going after his enemies.
I'm heartened by the fact that the left still cannot figure this out.
Even if you just take the January 6th part of it, he made that a big part of his campaign, that he would, if he were in power, pardon those people. You can't say that that was not on the agenda. It absolutely was.
What was the campaign about? Why did tens
but do you
of
think
millions
that he's going to do
people...
those other things when it comes to the Department of Justice?
I don't know what he's going to do. I don't talk to him.
A big part of the campaign was being a victim. Like, that was a big part of it, was his victimhood. They're coming for you, but they're going to have to get through me. That was his whole line. That is all about the enemies list. That is all.
I totally disagree.
The deep state. This is the stuff that he talked about on the stump. Unless you just don't want to listen to him. Those are his own words.
I listen plenty.
Scott, if you believe that people who violated the Capitol on January 6th committed a crime, which I would hope you would, because they weren't invited in the way they claimed they were, right? They were not there. They didn't go through security the way the rest of us have to go through to get into the Capitol. They were prosecuted. They were convicted. And now they're serving jail time. And he has said repeatedly that they're political prisoners and he is going to spring them, right? What does that tell you about how he's going to weaponize the Justice Department, and on whose behalf? On behalf of people who committed crimes for him, not for anybody else.
I mean, I admire your, I don't know if I want to call it naivete or optimism, that Trump is going to run on the policies you care about deregulation and tax cuts and whatnot. That's just not what his campaign was about.
Well,
that's not what he has indicated.
With all due respect, I've run more campaigns than you, and I know what campaigns are about, and I know why people walk into voting booths.
Why people walk into
Scott Jennings is actually making CNN watchable these days. I love seeing him totally outnumbered, right? There's like 10 liberals in the room, and it's just him, the one Republican, absolutely destroying and debunking everything these guys say. And they get so worked up and mad at him just because he's coming to the table with facts. In this conversation, you can see the total ignorance and refusal to understand that they are out of touch with the rest of America. That's what this election was. The results show that the media elites and Hollywood, the celebrities, and the Washington, D.C. bureaucrats, everybody, part of the machine who worked together to try to get Kamala Harris elected, they have no idea what average Americans are going through every day, how we're struggling with the economy, how, what the things that we actually care about, the values that we have. They're so detached at this point, and that's why they're so confused right now. They like, especially these people on CNN, they just don't get it. And Scott Jennings says that. He says, you still don't know why you lost this election. They do not represent us. I'm surprised that CNN is still in business. I know it has like this huge, like old money heritage to it. It's got tons of money, corporate interest propping it up. But if it had to survive on its own, it would be gone in less than a week. If you're a wine lover, you got to hear about one of the best kept secrets in the world of wine. Our amazing sponsor for this video, Bonner Private Wines Partnership. Imagine enjoying a glass of wine that comes from some of the highest altitude vineyards on earth, 6,000 to 9,000 feet in the Andes Mountains of Argentina. At that altitude, the grapes endure conditions that create intense flavors like blackberry, leather, and a touch of dark cherry. The best part? These wines are untouched by the additives and high sugar content that you'll find in wines at the grocery store or Walmart. No dyes, no artificial flavors, just small batch natural wine created by small family producers. And here's the thing, the region where these wines come from makes them very difficult to get and very rare, but Bonner Private Wines Partnership has cracked the code, making these exclusive wines available to you without a big industry markup. Right now, my viewers can get $25 off their first order when they join, as well as complimentary shipping. All you have to do is visit bonnerprivatewines.com/JayWalk, link in the description. This is a great offer for a great product you will not want to miss out on. Check it out. Now back to the video. This election was won by podcasters. That was a huge thing that helped Trump. Trump going on Aiden Ross's podcast, Theo Vaughn's podcast, Joe Rogan's podcast. This is where people actually care, actually tune into, and they care about what is said. It's higher quality conversations. It's more unscripted and uncut. In the legacy cable news media, all you get is these phony, overly polished personalities that have spray tans and crazy whitened teeth, and you know, they're just weirdos. And you get these little sound bites that are totally scripted, and it's not even like a real organic conversation. Whereas you go on Joe Rogan and you get 3 to 4 hours of uncut, unedited, organic discussion back and forth about all kinds of different topics. Nothing is scripted. It's a total wild card. And that's interesting to people. And that's why people respect Joe Rogan for many reasons, but they respect Joe Rogan, they respect, and they wanted to tune in and listen to his conversation with Trump. And they actually cared about how Trump would do in that situation where he's not in a padded room environment. You know, if Joe Rogan calls him out for something, he's just got to respond on the fly. I think you're going to start to see a total overhaul of how the media works and how the media is formatted, because if these cable news channels want to survive and compete now with podcasters and YouTubers and people who are in the new media setting, then they're going to have to make an appeal to more organic and real conversations, more genuine conversations, and they're going to have to come off way less plastic and scripted, because America's just not buying it anymore. You know, that's what the baby boomer generation came from, that old cable news style. And they're waking up. Like my parents and my grandparents don't want to see it anymore. They know that it's fake. They would rather listen to better quality conversations, and they know that there are more truth tellers outside of the news media than there are within it. Donald Trump was able to appeal to what Americans actually care about. He's relatable. He has a sense of humor. Kamala Harris and this whole ilk of CNN pundits, Hollywood celebrities, all these people, they are so alien to the truck driver, the mechanic, the plumber, the guy who works at as a grocery store clerk. It's just, they're living in two totally separate worlds. And that's what this populist movement really comes down to. It's a class divide. And even people who are rich, like Donald Trump, they can empathize with the working class man in America. It's funny because the Democrats and the left wing used to be the voice of the working class, or they used to claim to be. They were always kind of like academic and elitist. You know, that's socialism. That's one of the major flaws of socialism, is that they say that they promote and defend working class people, but very often they are not themselves working class people, and they really don't relate to them. I can't wait to see more of the meltdown on CNN over this, and as they realize, hopefully they start to wake up and sober up to the fact that they don't know what the hell they're talking about, and these people are total clowns, and we start to see a better quality, more genuine news media going forward. But anyway, let me know what you guys thought of this clip in the comments. If you liked the video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Ring the notification bell so you guys get notified when we post new videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.